the greatest threat to mankind and civilization is the speed of which totalitarianism takes over. Now, this is a totalitarian ideology, okay? I don't care what the name of it is, just so that you know. It's the individual versus totalitarianism. This is the fight. And America is the most magnificent experiment in human history. The most noble, the most moral, the first government that was ever designed based on the individual. It's so beautiful that the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, is almost a religious document. And it was based on individual rights. That's who we are, on individualism. And what you see in Islam, you see, the thing is, if we were true to ourselves and we could stand up for ourselves, Islam could not make these inroads. They couldn't mask the workplace. Oh, and then when one company said, no, we're not giving you those 5 prayer times, which, by the way, in Islamic countries, they don't do it during the day. There's not 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6. They do it when they can. It's a way of imposing Islam, you see. It's about Islamic supremacism. They don't have Muslim footbaths in the airports and the universities, but they have them here. Your taxpayer dollars at work. This is all Islamic supremacism. And you have a president, and I think he's a Mohammedan president, that, listen, I'm sorry. Well, first of all, regular Atlas readers were on to him January 2007, just for knowing. And yes, you were. And I took a ton, an anti-Muslim bigot. Oh, when he started that website, I took personal, pride in that. He took the Fight the Smears website, which everything that I ever said was true. Everything I ever said. Look, the thing with this guy, like I'm writing this book, which I know you're all going to buy, the Post-American Presidency, Obama's War on America. And they're only afraid that I'm going to say that he's evil, And I said, I don't care what his motivation is. I'm telling you what he's doing. I don't care. Like people say, you think he's a secret Muslim? I don't care if he's a secret Muslim. I do know if he was a Muslim, he wouldn't be doing anything differently. This is the key. Do you know that in Syracuse, they're giving workshops in Islamic law, Sharia law? You see, I have no problem if you worship a rock. Just don't hit me with that rock. And I have no problem with any particular religion. Just don't force me or my children to submit, as it were. And the thing about Obama, here, it was very telling that last night, in the cover of night, in the cover of darkness, President Bush went to Fort Hood, and he didn't want any press. But it got out. How do you keep it up? Now, I have had my issues with Bush, but he's a great American. This man has not gone to Fort Hood. He was in Camp David today. And I don't know if you were glued to your television set the day of the massacre, but when they went to the tribal conference, the tribal conference where the Native Americans, the victimization of the Native Americans, Obama was speaking at, I don't know if you watched him, but I was dumbfounded. Yeah, the shout out, but how do you not break for the biggest terrorist attack in American history on a military installation? How do you not break? And then has the audacity, if I may crib a word from him, to say, we don't want to jump to any conclusions. But he had no trouble jumping to conclusions with Gates in Boston, saying it was an act of, it was stupidity. And you know how it is up there. It's tough for us guys. By their acts we shall know them, and so we know them. Now, those of you regular Atlas readers have been following the Rifka Barry case. Another seminal case, another landmark case. And it's interesting to me what's happening to Fort Hood happened to Rivka. But she did not get the press that Fort Hood got. Look, it's a massive attack. Here you have a girl, just for those, I'll just bring you up to speed. Young girl, 17 years old, in Ohio, who converts out of Islam, keeps it a secret for 4 years. What that must have been like, I cannot imagine. People at her mosque, Noor Mosque, extremist ties, well documented, were spying on her, found some of her posts at Facebook, called the parents. The mother packs the bags, calls the father, who was away, and says, we're going back to Sri Lanka. Now, mind you, there had been other incidents when he found Rick Warren's book, I forget the name of it, Purposeful Life. And, you know, he held up the laptop and said, if you have this Jesus in your heart, I'm going to kill you. And anybody who studies Islam knows that apostasy is the most egregious crime. Now, I have followed honor killings for years. I got close to Amina and Sarah Saeed's family, the Aqsa Parvez Memorial. I mean, it happens on a regular basis in the West, on the rise. This is worse. This is not an honor killing. This is apostasy. And all you have to do is read Nani Darwish's book, or please read Wafa Sultan's latest book, The God Who Hates, to know that this girl, this threat was very real. And why did she go to Florida? Because in her own words, she said, I had to get as far away as possible. I love my parents, but you can't leave Islam. Now, who can forget when we went to Afghanistan and we went in there and we crushed the Taliban before Obama made them a partner? The moderate Taliban. And they said, there ain't no moderate Taliban. So they said it. And so did the Prime Minister of Turkey, just for knowing. What was interesting in the Rivka Barry case was the media's violent approach to Rivka. That I had a fight with Phil Keating of Fox News in the parking lot. Mr. Pull the facts out of the air. Well, honor killing's very rare, very rare. Where'd you get that? Very rare. I said, why do you have it out for this girl? I proved the parents to be liars time and time again. Now, look, what resources do I have? You're looking at them, okay? The media has research departments. They have all kinds of heavy-duty investigative reporters, research assistants. When her parents claimed they were indigent, so you were paying to sue Rivka down in Florida. I showed they had businesses. I showed that the wife had a small business. He had a business. He was a jeweler, this and that, yada, yada. Then that just disappeared. Did the media ever pick up on it? No. Now, in every single hearing, they were supposed to produce immigration documents. Every single one, every single time. They did not produce them. She was sent back to Ohio, and those documents were never produced. But just for knowing, on my website, I ran the 2 different applications he made. One under the Reagan amnesty plan, 20 years after Reagan amnesty, and the other one under an L1, where he's the president of some multinational corporation. But I thought you were indigent. Never mind. And those 2 applications said 2 very different things. So there was perjury. Again, first, indigent, then. So what I'm saying here is that they've proved to be liars. The father said he came to America because he wanted to get treatment for her eye. It's really, I was moved.